Hello, people. What's up? How's everybody doing? Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. It depends when you listen to this.
Yeah.
My name is Sherjil Yunus. I'm joined here by Shantanu
Hey
Gupta.
guys.
You're listening to another episode of Two Bits of Marketing. And today we're going to talk about something I absolutely love, which is getting annoyed at wrong things. We're going
And
to be talking about marketing on a budget.
yeah.
All right. And this is one of those fields which I think there's way too much misinformation about. There's too many people making too many offerings about taking your business to 7 figures or 8 figures.
Yeah. Or 30% ROI
Yeah.
or growth with less
There's
budget. Yeah.
way too much of it, right? And in most cases, entrepreneurs and business people who may not have too much marketing experience, they're like, oh, let me try saving some money. Let me see what the most effective things to do on a budget are.
Yeah.
And then they start researching online, ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT gives them stuff. They Google things. They'll get some SEO generated content. Here's the fundamental truth to marketing on a budget.
Hmm.
Okay, guys, please don't kill me. But there's literally no way that marketing on a budget works unless you have knowledge and information about marketing and people in marketing who are working with you. The reason I say this is because there's no generic tip to work on a budget. There's certain things which are less budget intensive. Yes, this is true across certain industries.
Yeah.
But in your context of business, what is truly applicable to you is not necessarily the same as your competition or somebody in a totally different segment.
Yeah.
And that's why there's no generic marketing on a budget. There's only like so much that you can do in terms of marketing on a budget when you don't have knowledge and information. Because then you'll be doing SEO, you'll do social media. But fundamentally, think of it this way, right? Imagine, for example, I have a younger sister, let's say, right?
Hmm.
She does not have marketing experience.
Yeah.
She wants to start a business.
Hmm.
Imagine she has a budget of X. I am an entrepreneur. I want to start a business X. I have 10 years of marketing experience. Who's going to make better use of the X budget? It's the person who has experience.
Yeah.
So the first tip in marketing on a budget is hire somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do it yourself. Hire somebody.
Don't get into a fight which you are already losing in the starting, right? That's what I would put it. And budget is very subjective and personal point, right? Like budget can be from any to anything, but I feel sometimes people do great work with less budget, and it's not because they didn't have more budget. It's just that they know what they want to accomplish here. When you try to define a level playing field and you're able to make sure that this is where I think I'll put and it will come out as a good result. Again, you're being hopeful with whatever knowledge you have from someone else, because if you're hiring someone, and that's how I think market on a budget works. It's not only the money. Money always comes a bit later in the part. You are first thinking where you want to put the money. I think that part, a lot of us need guidance, I think, and that's what marketers do.
Yeah.
And the experience, as you put it rightly, like experience cannot be taught, cannot be bought. It just can be shared. And that's what we are going to try to do in this episode, where give you some good tips, discuss between us, because I'm going to learn from him, he's going to learn from me, and that's how we'll see how it goes from there, right?
And I think like there's fundamentally two main questions that really get the ball rolling in terms of how you really approach marketing on a budget. The first question is, how do you even start thinking about marketing budgets?
Yeah.
And the second one is, hey, where does my goal really lie, and therefore where do I need to spend money? I think once you answer both of these questions, you're sort of doing a good job.
Yeah.
Right? So let's just look at some of the ways where I think a marketing budget has to be structured. And
Yeah,
this
but
is
before that, do you
Yeah.
want to also tell them about our business game plan? Something
Yes.
really cool we have, which
yes,
kind
please.
of goes
So,
with this.
folks, remember how I started off by saying, hey, 7-figure business, 30% increase.
Yeah.
That's all nonsense. Here's our offering,
Yes.
which does not come with similar guarantees. But to give a quick roundabout, we started this about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We already have like 9-10 clients for this particular
Yes,
offering. And the idea of the business game plan is to bring our strategist's experience, our marketing experience, and to really look at entrepreneurs who are truly passionate about it, about their business. So if I was to give an elevator pitch, this is what I keep telling people. As entrepreneurs, your business is your passion. Your passion you've made as your business, right? Your business, that's my passion. So your passion is your business, but your business is my passion. So I'm more focused and we're more focused. The business game plan focuses on the business aspect of things. We look at revenue, we look at distribution, we look at content, we look at marketing as well. All of this encapsulates the broad functions of marketing. And with some of our clients, we do like some incredible work, which is more focused on bundling, pricing, stuff like that. With some, it's more focused on branding. So that's we'll have more details about this later as well. But
So
I think you should bring in your 2 cents on the business game plan before we
I
continue.
think I would just say business game plan. Our approach is being very transparent. We are what we do. We give you actionable ways to improve your business. If you're doing something wrong, I think, as you said, you're passionate about a business, right? But you need someone from external source to tell you that you're also doing many things wrong. And that's where we come in, because we want to make sure that when you look at marketing from now, when you work with us, is that marketing is not about wasting money. You're not going to get scammed. It's not about having the most budget and the most money and you're going to be successful. No. It's about how you really put your energy in the right way. Do not do things you don't need to do. Like, do not buy all the AI tools or do not spend on every tool and then think later what the tool does for you. We think of it the other way. What you need to do first and what tools need to come together. So we do all that. We also analyze what you have been doing in the last few years. What if you're new, amazing. Let's start fresh. And I think we just have a great time creating that. We spend time on creating the template. Give it a shot. Reach out to us through comments, and we'll talk more further at the end of the episode too. Yeah,
for sure. And the business game plan as well. Like we designed that document, keeping marketing on a budget as a central pillar to this entire thing, right? And in fact, let's move into these 2 questions now, right? Let's first talk about the goals part, because this is where all of it starts. And even in the business game plan, we sort of ask whoever is doing it, we send a questionnaire their way, and we try to get as much information as possible. But the main idea of goals and marketing is you can only have 3 kinds of goals. You can have lead/revenue related goals. You can have brand awareness/share of market related goals. And you can have loyalty/lifetime value of customer related goals. There are no other goals.
And in the goals he spoke about, we would want you guys to comment below which goals you think as a business or as a company.
Is it revenue, loyalty, or is it awareness, brand awareness?
Which one do you think are the 2 most important goals? And I think we feel that we are pretty sure that most of you guys are probably going to get it wrong, but you will know why.
Yes, largely because we'll get into it. But think of goals in a way of, hey, this is the end point. I know that this is the destination. The destination has been reached. That's what a goal is, right? If you start chasing revenue/lead goals, then you come into a lot of problems, particularly because what is a lead is hard to quantify and you're not really aware of the lifetime value of a particular lead. Right? So when you're chasing leads and trying to increase the number of leads, you end up employing a lot of dirty marketing tactics as well. Like competitive SEO is one of them. Where today, if you search for Canva, the first few ads would be like, this is better than Canva. Give this a try. Which is just like, bro, that's not the point, right? So when you start going into pure revenue, you start going into tactics like these, because these generate more leads, right? But generating leads is the consideration/decision-making part. Where you really need to focus is building your brand awareness, which is top funnel, right? Once you build your top funnel and once you build a loyalty bonus or a loyalty program, everything in the middle sort of makes itself easier. You're building an hourglass, right? Take care of your customers, because that's what brand awareness does. That's what loyalty does. And the revenue will follow. You have to focus on your customers. Stop focusing on growing your business when the current customers itself are not happy. That's
exactly
the root of this.
So important, because I think revenue and lead goals are also very salesy things, right? I have been into this industry. You have also worked with this kind of industry where, don't get us wrong, we know revenue, for-profit business needs to have revenue. You need to.
It's the purpose.
is the purpose. You need to grow. You need to create contribution to society. Is when you create revenue, you're able to put that into societal changes and a lot of other things. But uh, if nobody knows about your brand, what it truly does, like as you put Canva, I think majority of folks in the world know what Canva does, and it didn't really have to sell itself. They spent money into creating the brand awareness of what the tool can do. They created amazing tutorials around it. They created great white papers, different resources on their website. They spent their marketing budget on these main goals first, and then I think the revenue and lead goals just went ahead with that, and then
Yep.
loyalty follows, and then we can dig more. But yeah, again, brand awareness very important, because if we even look at the journey of a customer, first you need to be aware, then you need to consider, and then you go on from there. But if there's no awareness, you're not going to consider that brand any which ways. You had a great potential, but you missed out just because you did not spend enough time and effort and money on creating the brand awareness. So think of it this way: brand awareness might not be truly a thing you see return on investment, but when it really clicks after a few weeks, when you see it, you will just thank us and yourself that you took a right decision. So
I also want to be very clear over here that, hey, B2B people, I know you hate me already, but think about it, right? Like, have you ever bought a chocolate you never heard the name of? That's quite rare. Not many people buy chocolates they've never heard the name of.
Yeah.
Even in brands and B2B marketing, the idea isn't just, oh, I will have free webinars so people can hear about me. Right? I think a lot happens in the name of awareness, which isn't really awareness, it's just lead generation.
Yeah. And it's true.
And people are like,
true.
oh, this is awareness activity. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's not.
It's really not. So definitely. And the reason why I say, hey, revenue is not really a realistic goal for the marketing at a small scale. Two reasons. First of all, ROI as a measure is severely flawed, because ROI drops the moment you invest $2.
Yeah.
Right? That's the way maths works. So you have to be very clear when you're trying to figure out what the purpose of you identifying ROI first is. And the second part to why something like this fails is it's endlessly scalable. You can remember how when we used to work with like huge companies, like we used to work with Amazon, right? You have like, dude, we used to come into problems of, shit, I have like so much money, where do I spend it?
Exactly.
Right? So when you have budgets of Amazon, that's the only time you're worried about, oh, I have too much money.
Yeah.
But everyone else, I assure you, you'll find ways to spend your money in advertising and marketing. You will just find it. Right? So are you truly trying to chase revenue then? What really happens is you increase your ad budget, let's say. You increase your performance marketing budget, or you increase your influencer budgets. Is that really creating revenue? Is a lead actually creating revenue, or maybe an affiliate gets you more revenue?
Yeah.
So you have to know exactly how your industry works, and there's no generic tips, especially for B2B, because B2B, the thing is, you hear arguments on all sides, but fundamentally they're all making the same claim of, hey, people should know who you are, people should like you for who you are, and then keep them happy, they will get you more customers. That's all this is. But dude, like, rationality works in weird ways.
Very weird. When you spoke very right about the influencer part, right? Like, as you said, is that influencer getting you lead, or is it creating brand awareness? And if they're getting a brand awareness, is that your goal? Because if that's your goal, that's great, because a lot of influencers don't need to really get you leads, because they get you out there. After that, the leads just follow, because once you have found the customer, your potential customer who would be interested, and you're solving a true problem which they're having right now, just the influencer being there is good. So always make sure that when you're choosing an influencer, you're also making sure which goal they are trying to check on. If they are doing lead without you even having, there's no point having an influencer then, because you're wasting their time and your resources and money. You could have spent it better on different other activities. So very important. Again, that's why goals are so important. We're again talking about it, because everything starts from a goal
and stops at goals. That's the most important.
Because everything else is adaptable. Like, as market is changing in next 6 months, Google search is going to change at a point where third-party cookies are getting off from all the websites.
The end of this year.
End of this year. We are in Feb, close to end of Feb. So we have so less time, and cookies, as everybody knows, is bread and butter of leads and remarketing. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be so interesting.
It's going to be incredible, because all the people who are telling you this is how it's going to change, nobody knows.
Nobody knows
like,
it.
Dude,
even Google doesn't know it. And that's something to say.
though.
The Google effect even if Google doesn't know it, then I don't
A
know
lot
what
of people will come with now no, with a lot of confidence saying this is how it is. Yeah, no, that no. On what proof? I can make a claim this is how it will be. I
Yeah.
can get lucky. Dude, there's every football World Cup there's an octopus that predicts the
Yeah, that
winner. That doesn't make that a psychic octopus. Like if you shoot 500 shots, right?
Yeah.
And one of them lands.
Yeah.
That
You're right.
means
It
you're
is
not a good shot. It
Yeah.
just means you got lucky.
lucky. Exactly.
And that's what happens a lot with marketing, right? Especially with some of these offerings that I come across a lot. And that sort of brings me into the important part of talking about why marketing needs to happen on a budget and certain aspects of budgets and budget planning, right? For us, when we look at budgets, we definitely have our own approaches to it. Typically, when you go to a marketing agency, they're thinking of their own business, right? How am I going to get money out of this client? Therefore, line item 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Typically, what happens? Don't think of it that way at all. That's a outdated, ancient way that worked when radio was like hip. Nobody thinks radio is hip anymore, right?
Yeah.
There's smarter ways to really think about your budget. So I've essentially created like a bifurcation on these are the categories you really need to think about in terms of budgets. And this will come into play only after your goals have been decided. First, decide your goals. Without deciding that, there's nothing to be done. But in terms of thinking of a budget, first think of a content budget. This is money you're going to be spending into making content.
Yeah.
Right? So anything to do with cameras, anything to do with actors, anything to do with, hey, I need to pay people to make this. That's content budgets. The second one is your distribution budget. This is how you're going to get the message across. So social media it is free to have a profile, but somebody has to post and start distributing that. They have to go into groups. That's just social. There's other places as well where distribution takes place. All of back in, what's it called? Off-page SEO, right? All of that is distribution focused. Then we look at one-time asset budgets. Websites, apps, pretty much you have a one-time major cost.
Major, then it's maintenance after that.
then
So
it's
it's recurring,
maintenance,
which is yearly, but and one-time asset budget is also super important because websites, either you do it once correctly or keep doing it, like as it's said, right? Either
We have had many experiences with people who will keep doing it.
there's no point. Don't waste your time and effort just by creating multiple websites over the years.
And
Have one.
One other point over here, because this is
Go ahead.
okay, folks. Important. Building a website. I don't know if you folks have seen that meme, which is like that Homer Simpson one, where Homer looks really fit, but on the back you can see like 100 clips holding his flab in place. I think that's how a lot of people who don't know marketing when they build websites really approach it. Like it looks good. I have no issue with the visual appearance of this, but everything fundamentally in its structure is wrong. One of our clients, he had gone to the Free Guys website builder, right? And he tried using that horrible website. Like it looks decent, but the back end and what is actually happening there, it's messed up. You have to, at that point, you're just better off rebuilding it.
Say it this way: you open a showroom in a place where nobody stays except you, and so nobody stays in that area. So nobody's going to come to your showroom because it's a great showroom. If I saw it on Google, I would want to be there, but then it's not accessible for me. I think that's what that website was all about. Is that looked great, like for a minute you would be like, okay, this is a great product, but it does nothing because for someone to reach that website, you need to have SEO backlinks. You need to have right meta descriptions. There's so many things missing, and I think it's very important to even consider that. Like, if you need to create a website, you will need someone who does it well. So you might have to up your budget because quality always comes at price, and then later you figure out, okay, the quality is there for that one-time asset. So make sure.
Yeah, and this is an important part, right? Quality comes at a price. Very true. How pricey is quality is a different question.
Yeah.
But it's important that we also look at what is correct, right? I have come across people, for example, who literally, like, on measures, on paper, website is flawless.
Yeah.
Right? But then you actually go into what the H1 say, what the
H2,
what the SEO says, and you're like,
HTML1,
you're just like, dude, you shouldn't have made this website. You have just wasted my client's money over here.
And that is what our business plan, just putting it back again here, kind of does, right? It also tells you what are the wrong things you have been doing. and it comes from a place where we are not judging you on basis of that. Hey, I knew you personally. We are external source who are the other guys who wanted to save money while marketing things. Like it's very important to save money and be very clear about what you want to achieve. And I think that's a
In
lot
fact,
of
like
business.
the vision of what we are doing towards of marketing and our affiliates is to save businesses and entrepreneurs billions in silly, misinformed marketing practices.
And that's true. There are billions of dollars being spent today just by putting in money, because there is money available for some big companies and for smaller. So because we're talking big companies, don't follow what big brands do, because they do it because they have so much of money. They have to prove their worth, and they need to some of the marketing it's a funny thing, but a lot of marketing managers have this KPIs where how much processes did you fix, how much money did you spend this year, and what the ROI. Sometimes they have to take those steps where they're just random spending wherever, and sometimes, as you said, the short part, right? That example, like shoot somewhere and might hit, so you get lucky, and that would get you over. So very important to figure out that don't really just keep thinking what everybody else is doing. Get someone who knows what others are doing wrong, so you don't do that. So it's very important to know from the failures. So
The next point, which is the exact opposite of one-time budget, one-time asset, is tools budget.
In 2024, tools budget.
Oh. Yeah, leave 2024. Since 2018, I've been hopping on this. When we first met, at that company also, I was like, where are the tools?
Exactly. We were just using organic.
Dude, I actually bought my own.
You did?
Like, I didn't know paid companies $10, $20 because it opened up at least just with 3M, close to 15 hours in a month.
Wow.
Because I had a $10 tool.
Wow.
I didn't tell anybody at office about it. Because I'm like, bro, you guys will you'll get very irritated at me once you know that I'm using tools because you guys aren't. And I don't want office to be irritating about it. So I just got tools. And I was very clear about looking at brand protection and brand privacy and stuff, right? But you need a tools budget. There are a lot of tools that'll make your life easier. Do you need tools to build an email marketing list? I don't know. It depends. Is that your goal? Stop investing in tools that you don't really need.
Exactly.
Because that's the second part to this. There are a lot of tools, for example, HubSpot, SEMrush, great tools, not for entrepreneurs. Those are great for marketing agencies. Like HubSpot, I'd still say is better off for entrepreneurs and businesses, but SEMrush, you don't really need. At no point do you need it.
For scheduling social media posts, you could always use Buffer. It's free tool to start with. And then as you scale, you can always expand and reach out to them and figure out what you need to buy. Very important also, as we're talking about tools, is that's where I think a lot of marketing agencies, as the Asian way they are doing things today, is they are charging you for tools and the resources they have invested in, and they're investing every month or yearly for things which probably 80% of tools they might not use for your project or for your account. But they're still doing it because they have invested in that. So that's what I think we want to also cut through, is that there has to be a way to budget the right way for a client. Make sure that the tools you're using, you charge them accordingly to that. Not because you have 100 tools but you're using only 2. The right way is only to charge them for 2 tools plus your time and your expertise, and that's it. So
this is called the bundling bias. Actually, there's actually a thing where if I offer you 100 things and you're using only 2, who cares about the other 98?
Exactly.
But tools, right?
All the tools are not important.
What
is important is what tools you exactly need, which will solve
your marketing
problems and the time problem. Because as an entrepreneur or a brand new company, you don't have only this to worry about. Marketing is not the only thing. You have to worry about product development. You have to worry about customers who are coming back to you, customer service. You have to worry about legal. You have to worry about expansion, employees, blah, 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 blah. So very important that you make sure that you spend the right amount of time and the money which is required, which saves you that much of time, that gives you 5x amount by doing something else. So.
Yes, and be very crafty in tools. And I say this in marketing very importantly because brand protection is a thing, right? And also ChatGPT is a great tool. But it is not unique enough to come up with entire marketing agendas for you.
But
don't do that.
Today's topic, marketing on budget, actually came through a ChatGPT prompt which we played around with. and that's how you should use the
But
AI tool,
unlike most people who talk about marketing on a budget saying invest in SEO,
Yeah.
invest in SEM, this
We're
is
not doing
not that.
Exactly.
Right? So you may be able to get a topic, but this is where experience comes in, because we know that marketing on a budget, doing SEO means nothing if it's a highly competitive space.
Yeah.
You're going to be spending more money. But if it's a non-competitive space, you'll be making a lot more money. And
So
it
true.
depends on the business.
Yeah.
There's so many things to factor in all the time. This is not a simple field. Right? I'm tired of people saying marketing is simple, it is easy,
It's not.
not complicated, it is, oh, look at this 7 steps. I want to hit all of these people. Like passionately. I'm like, oh, like, dude, if it was this simple, everybody would be doing it and everybody would be successful.
Exactly. Like
It's
even
never
we
the
would be
case.
right now somewhere else, but
Yeah.
because we enjoy the process. I think that's why we are into this. We can move to the advertising budget, but before that, again, tools budget. If you have any questions or you want to know about a tool, or if you have a tool which you want to tell us and we want us to review or go through, please comment below, and then we will always be there to help you guys out. Yeah, and
For sure.
always.
Yeah. The next one, advertising budget.
Uh,
So far, everything that we've spoken about, distribution as well, doesn't include advertising.
yeah, very different.
Advertising is money you spend in to boost where you are.
Exactly.
There are many forms of advertising. You can do direct ads, you can do indirect ads, there's programmatic as
ads,
well.
yeah, programmatic, yeah.
E-commerce is its whole separate beast. The way you can advertise as well is changing, right? Not just formats, but the concept of sponsored ad versus hidden sponsors.
Yeah,
It's big.
it's very big. It's a big. Maybe a topic we'll talk to in the future about. But
And we're going to be focusing a lot on advertising, I think 6 months from now.
yeah.
Because that's when Google is going to be like, oh my God. That's when the initial data will come in of,
Yeah.
oh, this is what it means to be in a world where remarketing is not possible the same way.
Exactly.
And the last budget, which I think is the underappreciated one, is time.
Yeah.
Most people don't factor in time. And going back to like certain histories, right? One thing I realized, and this comes from my culinary world experience as well. Time is the most important variable.
Yeah.
If you can fix time, right, you can fix everything else.
Hmm.
But fact of the matter is, marketing activities take time. Making a post, you can make 30 of them on whatever tool. Still, distribution takes time.
Yeah. It's a
And
lot of effort.
It's not just about making content. You have to make content in the right place at the right time. Timing is the thing that's the hardest to get right.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes we invest, like, for example, in 2 of our videos, we lost the video.
Yeah.
Right? It just boom, up, disappeared. No idea what happened.
Yeah.
But then we have to make a decision. Do we put the content out? We've already invested the time to make that content. So yeah, we put it out. Are we going to promote that content? No.
No.
It's there. Like, it helps in certain cases.
Exactly. It helps
Right?
people, and then it's
Yeah.
a content after
It's
all.
content after all. So factoring in time is important. And also, it's way easier to run, say, an email campaign than it is to run an affiliate network.
Yeah.
Right? Running an affiliate network is hard.
It's hard. You have to meet a lot of vendors. You have to speak to a lot of folks. And if you don't have the time, if you are the one person who's running the whole show, or if you're a team of 5 folks who are, of course, doing not only marketing, they're doing different things, maybe just do email marketing and see how it works for you. Because email marketing sometimes is just great. Like, if it's the right content, of course, we're going back to things we spoke about. Like, if you have the right content, your goals are set the right way. And as Sharjil has taught me before, is when you write, you always write for what people want and what they are looking to read, and never write what you want to write. So if you're able to figure that out, I think email marketing will work better than affiliate, because affiliate is expensive. First of all, it's not cheap, but a lot of resources, I think, because you need to have a trust with the publisher, with the affiliate agency if you're working with, and even to know that what data they're giving you is right. And that will take a month or 2, right? You do one campaign with them, you figure out the data, you're having the next meeting with them, and you're trying to figure out, okay, this did not work, can you give me an explanation? And the minute they don't give you a good explanation or not transparent about it, go to email marketing or change the agency. But yeah, time is so important. Very good.
Yeah.
Because it took us time to create this podcast too, and it is a lot of effort we put, but that's where our budgeting is. We know that if we can get better tools and we can get better distribution, we are okay spending money there. But I think time is something which we are controlling ourselves. Is like, let's spend good enough time to create good content, think about great things about the company. about this podcast, about our clients. So I think that's where we are very. So we know our goals are set, we know our visions are set, and it's very important that clarity comes in the starting, or maybe when you're in the journey, but not when it's too late already, where you spent a
Yes.
lot.
And of course, take everything in the world of marketing as with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Because just because it worked for somebody does not mean it'll necessarily work for you.
Exactly.
There might be cases that this works only for you for reasons nobody can explain. Because rationality will come defend you,
Yeah.
right? You can defend anything, dude. But that's not the idea. So I kind of want to bring this like to a close. But again, I really want to emphasize the best way to look at marketing on a budget is to hire somebody who will allow you to make the most out of your budget.
Yeah.
Don't just randomly jump in, right? Because it's too broad. It is
Exactly.
too broad, and I have had enough number of clients who've been taken for the ride.
Which is
I
very sad to see. And then also make sure that when you are thinking about marketing on a budget, or when you're ready to start marketing, spend some time to understand the basics of marketing, so that when you reach out, if you're not reaching out to us, to someone else, we want to make sure that you're well aware of what questions to ask them. Asking right questions and good quality questions are tougher. It's a tougher task, but
I'll be
once
a
you
little honest, dude. I don't really feel that. It's if you don't know a field,
Yeah.
how can you question somebody and know if this what they're saying is actually
get
useful?
the basics right, at least, right?
Get the
like
basics.
something like the people are going to, because we know how these meetings will go. They're going to talk about
Anybody
acquisition
who
costs,
pitches themselves to
lot of
you,
terms. Yeah.
if they're pitching too much of themselves to you and they're not talking about your business
Exactly.
problem,
It's a wrong place.
ignore it.
Ignore it.
Like, if they're focusing on your business problems, yeah, they're the right people. But if they're like, oh, my company has done this and that goes on for at least 15 minutes,
Yeah.
leave. That's not they're a sales company. They're pitching to you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be working with people who are pitching to you all the time. You want to be working with people who are directly solving your business problem.
Exactly, and that's where our business plan, game plan comes
Yes.
in. Has we had, and
Yeah.
you want to finish with that?
Yeah. So the business game plan, we look at specific recommendations as well.
Yeah.
Just to go over the structure of it, we do a couple of different forms of audits. Yes, we do website audits and social media audits, but we look at it much more differently. For example, if you use tools, they'll primarily see if H1 is filled, H2 is filled. They don't see if that H1, H2 is filled with the right thing,
Yeah.
right? Which is the job. It's not to like see does it do what. So stuff like that. That becomes important to what we are doing. Same with social media. We also look at things like, hey, are some of your problems easy to fix? Do you have consistency in messaging?
Yeah.
Because usually what happens with some companies is one agency made the website,
Yeah.
one agency handles social media.
I think it happens with everyone.
Yeah, and
Not only
the
some.
messaging is not constant across. I'm like,
Exactly.
dude, is this the same company?
Yeah, because there are different folks working on that
Yes.
same product. So
And
different. Yeah.
To me, this starts because there was no brand book in place.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not saying build a brand book on day one. That's
It's a
not
lot
the
of work.
point. It's expensive work.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure that you're working with people who are thinking about these things as
Yeah.
well all the time. After that, we also look at, when we say recommendations, we look at recommendations, I think, on 4 or 5 separate tangents. We
Yeah.
have content recommendations,
Revenue.
distribution, revenue.
Very important.
What
else
were the
was
other
there?
two? Wait, I'll just take a look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are like a couple more.
Revenue, and then workshops. That was the one. But
Not
that
workshops,
comes
no.
under revenue.
That was definitely not a recommendation category.
Yeah.
Okay,
But before you
found
come
it.
to that, also we also
Website and social media.
website and social media, which we already spoke about. It's funny. I
That's
think.
why I forgot it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah. We give hyper-specific recommendations for website and social media as
Yeah.
well. We also have like goals which are measured to like what your short-term, medium-term, long-term
Very
goals
important.
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most people start their long-term goals immediately,
Yeah.
which is a good way to reach menu planning, which is to say that, hey, rice takes the most amount of time to prepare, therefore I'll start with the rice. But no, that's not how brands work. You're not making a meal, you're making a brand.
Yeah.
Very different things. We also look at community, and we take a look at different sales funnels as well.
Yes.
So
And lastly, we also you already covered it, but I want to make it very like spotlight and highlight of this conversation is our business game plan also looks at the things you're doing like you have done and you don't need to do it. Like even if say you have invested maybe 6 months of creating that category or trying to create that reach to reach your customer, that different channel. If it doesn't make sense, we tell you to stop right away and maybe put your effort more into this. For example, we had some clients who like have created random podcast, and it did not really bring out about a vision where is this something which is going to get them awareness plus also lead. If it's not, stop it right there. If you're in different channels, you don't have to be on every social media channel. As a business, as a
Yeah, we had
entrepreneur, very
somebody be on
important.
Pinterest.
Yeah, and it's not needed.
They were not that category.
Yeah, so that's what is very important. So that's where again it's budget, right? It's time budget. We will fix it to. We are going to save you time, so you're going to go get a lot more from this business game plan, more clarity, and then we can hopefully work in the future as your marketing folks who will really guide you, and then look at you as a business how we want to be passionate to like bring and scale up to.
Yeah,
That's
and
important.
one thing that I would definitely add before concluding is, as far as we use the game plan for, we also use it as a vetting tool of sorts. And we just
Good
say
point.
we don't want to work with just everybody on the planet.
Exactly,
So, like,
and,
it's,
and we don't have the capacity
Yeah,
to do it
we
also,
don't.
even if we would
Yeah.
want to. Yeah,
no. Even if we would want to, is just don't stop lying. Look at the camera and say that. No. We want to work with people, and I'm very particular about this. I want to work with people who are super passionate about their business.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter what it is. We've worked with, like, for example, one of my clients wants to build an umbrella shop.
Yeah.
I don't know much about umbrellas, but they're passionate about umbrellas. Let's do it.
Exactly.
Right? But I've had people who are like zero passion about their business, and they're like, let's do something. And I'm like, no, I am not interested working with people because I can't really relate with that. I know I'm super passionate about my field, right? So when we match that passion level,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you need to have my level of knowledge in marketing. No, I'm the expert. That's why you're hiring me.
Yeah.
But you need to have your passion. I cannot carry an entrepreneur's passion for them,
So true.
right? So definitely, if you're highly passionate and you're like, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, I want to do something, feel free to reach out to us and we'll work together.
And we'll have the detail how to reach out to us on the description. But if you want to send us an email, it's 2bitsofmarketing at @gmail.com. As
All
simple as
caps.
it can be. But yeah,
It's
you
all
can-
caps.
It is?
Actually,
No?
yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
It doesn't really matter. So there's no need to tell that. But yeah, 2bitsofmarketing at gmail.com.
but how many people you think knew that? That's the thing of marketing, right? Use
Yeah.
so much silliness. Put it all caps.
And we are also on Instagram. We would love to work with folks. And we are, of course, excited to work with folks in Canada right now, in Vancouver, more local business owners, because it's very
Yes.
important for us to have create that distinction and not distinction. I'm using the wrong word. Create that value in the local society. Like, we want to make a difference here. We want to make sure that we are able to serve the community. And I think that's where we want to start with. But of course, if you're somewhere else, feel free to reach out. But we would love local clients too. But yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you, folks, for
fun. Yeah,
listening.
thank you so
Really
much, and
appreciate it.
Great
And
conversation.
final words, marketing on a budget. Hire somebody who knows how to use that budget
Yes.
the most. Way more important than reducing your budget.
Exactly.
Get more value out of it.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
so
Take
much.
care.